really excited to show you guys this one. I got this builder's kit from Real Terrain Hobbies and their collaboration with Muse Kits, and we're gonna build it and it's gonna be fun. So let's... Oh. Let's do that. I heard dog saliva is a very good finish for your wood, so I'm getting to work applying that already from the get-go. It's good stuff. So part of the instructions of buying a pre-made butcher block like this is that you have to put finish on it or seal it within the first 48 hours. Otherwise you have risk of warping. So what I'm gonna do is take this out to the garage and sand it. I might have some oil and finish left over that I could use. One other thing I'm happy with about this butcher block is that butcher blocks I've had in the past have an indicated top and bottom, and the bottom of them usually has some pits or voids in the wood. But this one, I'm thankful because both sides of the table will be visible. If it's folded up, the bottom's gonna be visible. If it's folded down, the top's gonna be visible. And both sides are good. There's no big voids or anything. Might be a small thing here or there that I can just fill with some like UV resin or something. But overall, good butcher block. So we just got started on this project and we already written into our first issue. Hopefully it won't be too bad. But the original design I set up for the height of this cabinet has it as 5 feet. The length of these boards is 4 feet, 10 inches. I think that's probably good enough to where I can just kind of squish things down a little bit. I'll probably kick that down the road to future Connor to figure out. So the goal for cutting this was to get it the width of the butcher block with just a 1/16 of an inch on either side. And I think we accomplished that. I think there's just enough wiggle room, and that'll dictate the clearance that the butcher block has when it raises up and down. So I think this is a good size here. So I guess the unfortunate thing about buying wood online is that you can't quite pick out every single piece of wood that you use. For example, this looks fine, but I don't know if this happened in transport or just happened when it got milled up in the first place. But you can see there's a big chunk that got taken out of this piece of wood. I think I'm just gonna glue it down and clamp it. Problem with it being so cold, the glue is so thickened up because of the cold that it doesn't want to come out. Don't worry, I'll take this piece back inside to let it glue up, or to let it dry. So here I am trying to set up a miter sled thing that can accommodate this long piece of wood. But after trying to get this to work for like 10 minutes, it was a classic use of the advice, if it doesn't feel right, don't do it. And this definitely didn't feel right. So I switched to just using my belt sander to sand it flat, as you can see here. I almost got it square, just needed a bit more sanding. And oh yeah, that's the good stuff right there. I repeated that process for all sides of the multiple boards I had to do this with. Here I am cutting a thinner piece the same length as my shelves, and as you can see from the angled cut there, it's going to be used as a French cleat, which is what will hold this cabinet against the wall when we're done. Well, there's one out of 4, at least the bottom, but I'm gonna have 2 more center ones right here. Whew. That takes a long time. So you saw how I just dropped these boards. Stupid. Could have been more careful about that. And I have this big old ding on the front corner. It's ugly. I think I have a solution that might work. So on the butcher block that's going to be the tabletop, I'm going to put a slight chamfer around both the top and the bottom. So when the butcher block sits here, that chamfer will live on this edge. So I'm thinking if I mimic the chamfer and get the chamfer deep enough, it could cover up the majority of this screw up, hopefully. Because yeah, that's pretty dang ugly. So I made another mistake with this project. In my original design, which you can see somewhere here or there, whichever, I have the hinge connecting to the top of the table here, and then sitting flush with the table where the legs are going to sit up here. So the legs aren't actually going to be sitting above the top of the table here. And in my original design, if I flip this out the way, I had the shelf come just above where this bulge in the hinge is, such that the table could sit flush. But, as I'm now realizing, that would require me to have another piece of wood that was the same width as the side panels, which I don't have. I could glue it up, but honestly, I don't really want to do that. So what I'm thinking instead is I'll just bring the shelf here, flush with the top of the table, and when the legs sit flush, it'll just be basically a fence for the shelf. Because right here, this shelf right here is going to be an open shelf. So for more, I guess, decoration stuff. But I think that's an okay solution. I'm satisfied with that solution, at least, for now. So I'm going to go ahead with that in mind, and hopefully things are good. So we can finally see for the first time it starting to come together. This wasn't planned, but one really awesome thing is that I can use the offcut of this as the cover for the top cabinet area, the top shelf, because this is where the light fixture is going to be attached to. And I didn't plan it, but it is just enough material to cover this up. So it'll keep the look very consistent across the whole thing, and we'll just have this one exposed shelf right here. So I think that's really awesome. I just need to plane this down to the right thickness and cut this tiny strip off, and that's all that needs to be done to have perfect cabinet cover here. Cabinet door, that word. So as we can see, how this is going to work is the hinge, I think I showed you before, I forget though. This hinge here, this is going to be right here to connect the bottom shelf to the actual tabletop. And that is what is going to actually allow the table to, stay connected to this. And I'm really hoping that this is enough support to keep this table up. We will cross that bridge if that becomes a problem. So yeah, with that hinge there, table, again, come to the side with me, is going to rotate off this way from the actual shelf. And so, we're getting along. We're getting there. I'm seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, and I'm starting to get excited to have this in my office. But still have a good amount of work left to do. It's okay. We will persist, and we'll get it done. Hey there, Editor Connor here from the future, and I have a question for you. So I'm seeing as I'm editing this video that I don't feel really good about publishing a video that's longer than 20 minutes. I just feel like videos at that length start to get hard to watch in their entirety just because of how long they are. So I'm going to cut this video here as a part 1, but I want to pass that question on to you. What length of video would you like to watch? Would you prefer to see a 40+ minute video of a project from start to finish? Or would you prefer to see 15 to 20 minute chunks of a project that you can watch at your own pace? Let me know down in the comments. Let me know what you liked about this video. And honestly, let me know what you didn't like about this video. It helps me to make better videos for you. And of course, if you feel like subscribing to see part 2 and giving this video a like, it really helps get my channel off the ground, and I'd really appreciate it. So much love to you, stay awesome, and thank you for watching.